start, everybody stand up. No, not your parents, sit down. Turn around. Look at your parents. Give them a round of applause. Parents, thank you guys for being here. This really means a lot to all these youth. It means a lot to us as leaders on Discovery. Just thank you guys. All right, let's talk about age for a second. Everybody in this retreat is 12, 13, 14, 15 years old, right? Except for the Egan triplets. I know y'all are 16. That still blows my mind. Y'all are 16. Anyways. All right, 7th graders. Is there anybody who's still 11? Raise your hand. Nobody? Nobody? Okay. What about anybody who's 11 at the start of the school year this year? No 7th grader was 11 at the start of the school year this year. Nobody. Okay. Well, I've always been the youngest in my grade ever since I can remember. Everybody in 7th grade was 12, and I was still 11. A few years later, much to my chagrin, my sophomore year, everybody was turning 16 and getting cars, and I was still 14. How that happened, it just happened. Everybody always asks me what it's like being the youngest in the grade, and if I'd rather have it any other way. They questioned my parents on their decision to push me ahead. Probably my favorite comment is, dude, Walker, you would totally be an animal in the grade below us in sports. That would always make me chuckle. But my stock answer to these questions is that I wouldn't rather have it any other way. I love being the youngest, and I love the challenge that accompanies that. What I didn't do, though, is I didn't let other people define who I was going to be just because I was young. I made my own reputation, one that, not to my own horn, but I think is pretty good. Our verse this weekend is from 1 Timothy 4:12. It says, "Let no one look down on your youthfulness, but rather in speech, conduct, love, faith, and purity, show yourself an example to those who believe." What Paul is doing in this verse is he is challenging us as youthful people to make an impact on this world and not to let anybody define who we are and what we're going to do. Something that always motivates me is that I really don't have any recollection of what happened before about 1997 or so. I guess my first vivid memory was sitting on the hospital bed with my mom and looking at huge 9-pound 11-ounce Carter. Okay, raise your hand, you're out there. I guess that's probably my first vivid memory. But all I've known is the world that I've lived in my world now. And I want to leave and make a difference in my world now. And I want to leave it a better place than when I found it. I want to leave a lasting impression. But back to what Paul is saying. He is challenging us as young Christians to leave a lasting impression on the world by leading a life of Christianity in the right way. Not the half-hearted, lukewarm way, but a messy, all-in, full-hearted way so that we can all be examples to the world. We have an incredible opportunity to show other people how to follow Christ. If anybody's ever told you that you were too young to do something, you know what? They are absolutely wrong. They are dead wrong. Take that notion and throw it out the window. It's interesting to me to hear all these studies that people do about perceptions of Christians around the world. One of these perceptions is that, or misconceptions, I should say, is that Christians sing lies. They say we always think about what will happen when something happens. Your light will shine when all else fades. I'm not a very good singer, but you get the point. Your light will shine when all else fades. Will shine when. That's not really the now kind of relationship with Christ we're looking for. It's future tense. Well, let's change that. Make everything else fade now. Make it present tense. Your light is shining right now as all else is fading. Not tomorrow, not next week, not when it's convenient for you, but now. What Paul is asking for us to do in this verse, and what he asks all Christians to do in all of his letters, is almost impossible. It's the single most difficult thing to ask of any human being. We've been asked to give our lives entirely and completely to Christ. every decision you make, and every cell in your body, and make sure it is entirely devoted to following Jesus. For me, I want my Christian life to be more than knowledge, more than music, more than a part-time job, more than just getting excited about Jesus on a retreat. I want it to be real. I want it to be a part of me. I want it to be something that I want to do because I love Jesus, because he loved us first with a matchless love. The most important thing you can do in your relationship with Christ is to be real. Even when you're by yourself and nobody else is watching, are you still a Christian? A relationship with Christ is not just saying you're a Christian and going to church a couple Sundays out of the year. Christianity is not a hat that you can put on and take off whenever you please. It's also not a phone that you can pick up and talk to God when things aren't going well in crisis moments. Rather, it's a contact lens that you put in and it never comes out. One that lets you see the God sense in everything that you do, everything that other people do. Or it's a baby monitor that never ceases communication. And it allows us to constantly be in a two-way communication with God. A lot of the time, as hat-wearing Christians, we're good at putting that hat on in times where things aren't going well or our crisis moments. But this isn't what it's about, though. It's about wearing that hat all the time. In the times where things are going well, and in the times where things are going bad. In the happy and the sad. In the convenient times and the inconvenient times. It's something that is real. It's about living real. It's about being the difference that you want to see in the world. Are you being the servant you've been called to be? Are you growing to be more like Christ? You are constantly in pursuit of a God who is in pursuit of you. He will always be there seeking you, yearning for you, whether you decide to pursue him or not. Even if you make mistakes, even if you mess up, he will still be there seeking you. All you have to do is seek him in return. He wants every fiber of our being committed to him. Everything. Period. Sure, it may sound radical, and it may sound like it's tough to do, but beautiful things will flourish in that relationship that you build, and you'll be amazed at these beautiful things. Why can't that be you? Why can't you have that kind of relationship with God? Take whatever it is preventing you from creating that kind of relationship with God and end it, remove it, forget it. Take whatever roadblock you may have in your relationship and get rid of it so you can have the relationship God calls us to have. Remove it, and you will be amazed at the beautiful, majestic, and wonderful relationship that has been doing just that. You may ask, how am I going to change things? What am I going to do and how am I going to do it? My answer, just do it. Literally, just do it. Stop thinking about it and make it happen. Sure, it's going to be messy. I can guarantee you that. And it's not always going to be easy. Will you mess up? Sure, everybody has and everybody will. But I can guarantee you that you will not regret your decision. Learn who God is and everything he has done for you. You will only be more motivated than that. Take time and read the Bible to understand what exactly God had to give up for us, to give us this unbounded, matchless love that deserves justice. That justice is just to love him back. Make that decision and love him back. Daily, as Christians, we are bombarded with challenges of whether to pursue worldly goals, fame, popularity, money, acceptance. To pursue a life filled with love, focused on Christ. Many Christians have this distorted view of Jesus and a distorted view about life. They form Jesus into what they want him to be, which often ends up looking a lot like themselves, instead of making their belief about what the Bible says. God made mankind in his image, and man returned the favor. God made mankind in his image, and then man turned around and tried to make God look like them. This is scary when you think about it. More or less what they're doing is redefining who Jesus is and everything he did for us. We have an opportunity as young people to be unique and to follow the God